I've got a 3-mile long intermodal train on my layout, trying to do precision scheduled railroading. If you go to on YouTube, go to live rail cams, steel highway, and virtual rail fan, you can find rail cameras of actual live train footage. You go to Fort Madison, Iowa, you can see the transcontinental line. It used to be the old Santa Fe, but now it's BNSF. And there has been a drop in the number of trains now, not just because of precision scheduled railroading, but because of the recession. So let me try this. I don't plan on being successful. I've had trouble already. I got 13 locos on here, and it's really hard to get them all exactly the same. Here's my thoughts on precision scheduled railroading. Yes, here's the definition or what it is: a strategy focused on increasing efficiency and reducing costs in freight rail operations. So running longer trains, reducing staff and equipment, using a point-to-point method to move freight faster and more predictably. Now, the only thing it's doing is reducing staff. It's not reducing equipment, and it's not being very efficient. Let me show you something real quick. All right, Canadian Pacific used to have an express train. I think it was from Toronto somewhere out on the eastern area of Canada. It didn't do it very long, but what it was supposed to be quicker. And I also saw in Sea Vision, it's mentioned Sprint train. It was CP or Soo. They'd make a train specifically for freight that has limited time to make the train faster. When you're making your trains longer, it takes longer to load them. It took me a long time to set all this up. So you're getting a lot of time in loading versus having a few different trains, one set up for the shorter time to allow for delivery, like 1 to 2 days versus 5 to 7 days. But no, they want to put everything on one train. That's not being efficient. Sorry, I don't agree with that. You know, the problem with this country is the rich people control the government, and everything is set up to make the rich people richer, and they've taken away all the restrictions. The FCC used to be you couldn't own a bunch of radio stations and TV stations in one area. They took that away. Clinton took that away. So now you can own all the TV stations, all the radio stations, pretty much brainwash the people. That's what happens when you let the rich people control the government. And basically, the U.S. government is a criminal organization controlled by the deep state. You can debate me on this all day long. Many people have. You can't defend what the United States has been doing. The definition of terrorism is a calculated use of violence or the threat of violence against civilians or property to create fear and coerce or intimidate governments or societies for political, religious, or ideological goals. Wow. Okay, the U.S. government is guilty of that, and the U.S. government is the largest terrorist organization in the world. Genocide is the deliberate and systematic destruction in whole or in part of a nation, ethnical, racial, or religious group. Okay, the United States is helping Israel kill Palestinians. All right, so if you're a proud American, if you're okay with that, man, don't watch my channel. Don't subscribe to me. I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with what goes on in this country. I'm not a proud American. I'm ashamed. My wife's a Filipino. After the Spanish-American War, or during the Spanish-American War, the United States told the Filipinos, help us fight Spain. And after we defeat Spain, you'll get your independence. And you know what? They didn't get their independence. The Filipinos tried, but they were slaughtered by the U.S. military. Check out Smedley Butler on YouTube. Or not YouTube. Google. You can get information on him. It's over 100 years ago. He's a Marine, the most highly decorated Marine in the United States military. He wrote a book, War's a Racket. I haven't read the book, but I know what it's about. It's about the rich people using the military for monetary gains. And that's all this Ukraine war is going on right now. See, the United States started that Ukraine war. The U.S. is good at starting wars, but not good at winning. The wars that the United States won, but you got to remember, other countries helped the United States win. World War I, World War II. And these are the ones that the United States lost. Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Ukraine. All right, so this precision scheduled railroading is just another way for rich people to make more money. The only thing they're saving is labor costs. And you know, they're going to leave one crew on that train, so if anything does happen, they'll blame the crew. Guarantee it, they'll blame the crew. Australia has ore trains that don't have crews on them. But they won't do that in this country. They need somebody to blame. They don't want to blame corporations. They'll blame the crew. So let me try this. I don't plan on being successful. I spent several days setting up my coal train. Just for your information, that coal train, the BNSF cars, the 94 cars, is 30 pounds. I've weighed all the cars and I added it all up. It's 30 pounds. I don't know how much the empty 66 Walthers NS cars were. But anyway, that was interesting doing that yesterday. I won't do it again. This is my first and only attempt to do precision scheduled intermodal train. I won't even try a manifest train or a grain train, covered hoppers. I won't even try that. I've got so many hills and stuff. If I had a layout that was flat, this might work. I've already string lined over here several times. And I don't understand why, because there's stuff going downhill. If I can get it moving, I may be all right. Oh, there we go. And I spent time trying to get these locomotives all the same speed. So I don't understand what's going on over there. I'm not going to waste my time on this anymore. So I give up. I can't do an intermodal train. I managed to get the coal train up the hill yesterday, most of it, without having too much issues. And I had a string line over here. But why? I was worried about going over this because this isn't perfect yet. But why? That's going downhill. There shouldn't be an issue. It should be able to continue rolling. I already know these Ather and Gunnarsson well cars not going to work up in front of power. They don't stay on track very well. So I'm going back to 1 mile trains. That's the way it was for my time period back in early 2000, before the BNSF wedge or Heritage 3 or swoosh. I don't like that. See, this makes sense. The cigar band on there, same type of stripe, matches the rest of the stripes. When they took that off, and they took off the yellow lettering and stuck that black lettering on there, black lettering on the front, it looks stupid. And the executives, I don't have an executive with a herald on the front of them. I'm going to do one of those. But they stripped the front of the executives off. There's no more BN, no more BNSF herald on the executives. It just looks, well, there's a few running around, but they look naked. All right, that's the end of this video. So just wanted to share my views and opinions with you. If you don't like what I have to say, that's fine. There's a lot of bad people in this world. A lot of them are in our government. And if you think our government's okay, then you're probably a bad person. All right, thank you.